Yes. And do you know why that is? Because the way the black community and black women coddle black men is the same way white women have been coddled in society. Because black women always had to work. Black women weren't ever able to just stay home. Black women didn't have nannies. They were the nanny. The black women were working for the white woman.
And the black man was working for what? Funsies. Who was doing the crazy intensive labor? Who was doing day labor and stuff? Who was getting sent off to wars to go die in ditches? Who? And I'm not a black American, so I'm not going to speak on that behalf. I'm going to speak because you said black people. I'm going to speak on behalf of black people around the world because, such as it was, black people do exist outside of America. You want to talk about this? Because I've heard this argument before. You know, you got this white woman over here looking for clout. You got this white woman over here trying to present herself as an ally after you've been with a black man and then you've used and abused the black man. Now you're over here trying to confuse black women, trying to play them off against each other when this is a conversation that's got nothing to do with you. Yeah. Imagine you putting yourself into this situation and you ain't got nothing to do with this situation. Black men were sent to go die in every single war you can think of. In World War One, they went to go and fight. But in Africa, where my people are from, West Africa, there were draft wars in Burkina Faso, Mali, Ivory Coast. Because you see, the people had to pay a tax just for living on their own land. And it was the men who were moved into the cities to go and build these modern type of cities that you see today. And then they were told that they needed to go and fight the Frenchman's War in the Francophone West African sphere. And they fought that war. And as they fought that war, they were then forced to fight against the French within the country when the recruitment drive got too much. You understand what I'm telling you? Where does this fit into your theory that black men somehow have been coddled? Are you out of your mind or something? Who coddles black men? In the black community, black men deal with black men violently at higher rates per capita than anywhere else. So the number one people to get accountability are the black men. Just as a black man, especially growing up in the 90s, growing up in the 2000s, walking through the neighborhood, you were targeted just for being a black male. Who covered, who, I mean, imagine a white woman talking about what goes on in black families behind closed doors. Imagine that. What the hell are you talking about? Are you there in the black house? Are you laid down with a black man, so now you think he knows what goes on in the black house? When it's predominantly women up in the house, and you think that those women are going to go against their own interest to go and placate black boys. Do you not know how strict and even downright vicious a lot of black mothers can be? The stereotypes about getting your ass whooped, your stereotypes about being stripped naked and beaten by your mother and so on and so forth. These jokes that black people through trauma go ahead and make with each other. You're going to sit there and then tell me that you're not aware of this, but you're aware of everything else. Let's go on and see what this woman is saying. Go ahead. You know, this woman, you see, I don't like this interference because I made a video about this years ago. And in that video, I was talking about these white women. Because these white women, who knows what she was saying to the black man that she was with in a relationship? Who knows what she was saying to that guy? Who has any idea or any notion? They'll get around black men and then be talking about, oh, these black women, they won't do this for you, they won't do that for you, I'll do this for you. Then they get with the black woman and suddenly they want to sit there and pretend to be spilling the beans. But then it's the same ones who will be sitting there talking to black people about the white man and all of the ills of what the white man does. But then they'll go to the white man and then it's them in the schools and wherever else pushing the policies that the white man has written into law. In the schools, harassing black boys and making black boys doubt their ability to even study because of the disconnect between the white female teacher and the black male student. And black men face higher rates of expulsion from school, higher rates of incarceration. Where is the coddling? Imagine a white woman sitting there talking about black men being coddled. Yeah, you're right about the fact that you're coddled. Don't ever try to compare your lot to the black man. And if a black man now has victimhood mentality, well, it's because they were raised in a society that tells them that they're victims with the movies and everything else. And then you have the victim mentality that a lot of their mothers have vis-a-vis the father, the absent father, always complaining about the father. Your father did this, your father did that, so on and so forth. That's victim mentality. That victim mentality also comes with an entitlement that usually manifests into rioting, protesting, always screaming at authority, refusing to obey authority. What's this woman talking about, bro? Let's go through.
And back in the day, if you looked at a white woman the wrong way, God forbid, Emmett Till.
Emmett Till was a black woman. No, Emmett Till was a black male. He was a black boy. So now you just went from saying that black men are coddled to all of a sudden, if you looked at a white woman the wrong way, you're contradicting yourself, trying to make your point, and then you're unsaying yourself as you're then saying. You're unsaying what you're saying. So you yourself recognize that black men used to get it a different kind of way. You're talking about what? Black women have it harder, what, because they have to work? Black men don't have to work? What are you talking about? Black men work? Or are you one of those that subscribes to the idea that black men are all thugs and busters and goofies and they smoke weed all day long and play video games? Listen to what this crazy ass woman is saying. Listen to what she's saying, broski. It's the unsaid things that will undo her. You're going to sit there and talk to me about black men being coddled. What is this, baby boy? So what? You think that black men are basically just sitting around doing nothing with their lives? I don't understand what the mentality is with these people in this internet era where people just get up on the internet and say whatever it is they want to say. And where's your evidence? Where's the statistics of anything that you're saying? Not one statistic. Not one statistic is this woman going to bring up. Coddled. What does it mean to be coddled? Coddled, you're coddled. What does that mean? Coddled can mean different things for different people. Some people, to not execute them is coddling them. Yeah, there were some Vikings. I remember reading a story about Vikings. And this guy, he refused to harm children. When they would go on raids, he refused to harm children. So because of that, this Viking was said to have been a pum-pum, was said to have been somebody that was soft. But soft, that's a matter of, that's subjective. Just like coddling, being treated softly is also subjective. So what does it mean to be coddled? Coddled by whom? Because there's only black men and black women. You think black men coddle other black men? Are you stupid or what? So why do the crime statistics and violent crime statistics look the way that they look? Are you stupid or something? If a black man looks at another black man, he will be dealt with by that black man in a vicious way. That is a form of accountability. It's overcorrection, actually. So what the hell are you talking about? You think that black men and white women are the same? You think that they're similar or something, that they live similar lifestyles or something? Listen, all right, there we go.
White women have always been treated like little, delicate, angelic, sweet flowers, damsels in distress,
Yep.
while black women, since they're born, are treated like adults and expected to be more mature than their age and take.
By who, though? Yes, they're treated like adults. That's black children. Joe, that's black children. Black children are treated that way. Now, some people say, well, black women are taught to cook and clean. Do you know how many black women I know who are adults that don't know how to cook? What are you talking about? That's actually a thing, like in this generation, that you have grown-ass black women that know how to cook. Now, I will say that there are black women that do know how to cook. They do know how to throw down in the kitchen and so on and so forth. But what are the black boys told to do? Do you have any idea? From a young age, we have to carry the shopping. From a young age, we have to carry up the heavy things. From a young age, we have to go out to do the shopping. From a young age, we are told to go to work. We are told to make money and to contribute and to pay bills in the house. And we're 13, 14 years old. What are you talking about? But you're not black and you ain't a black man. But you're talking about what goes on in black households from birth, from they're born. How does a white woman know how black children are treated in the home by their black parents in the black community? How do you have this information?
take on more responsibility and be stronger than they should be. Even as little girls, black women aren't allowed to actually be a little girl. There's always such high expectations on black women, even when they're little girls compared to white girls.
Stick to talking about white girls because what you've said is true. Go ahead and go stick to the white girls.
Who are actually usually able to be a little girl. Same as how black men are
Nope.
coddled in the
Nope.
black community due to
She's gonna say male worship. No, no, not coddled in the black community. Define coddled, define black community. Who in the black community coddles whom? Who in the black community? Define that and then define what it means to cuddle. I'm a black man. I was raised up in the black community. Don't know anybody cuddle me. Didn't know nobody cuddle me. I never got cuddled by anybody. Pure beatings, pure abuse, robbery, theft, everything else. What are you talking about? That's how. Why do you think most black men are angry? Where do you think that anger comes from, bro? Comes from abuse, dummy. Oh, due to male worship by the women who cuddle black men. How many black women in the community? What's the percentage of women in the black community that cuddle black men?
male worship by the women who coddle the black men.
No stats.
White women are coddled in society.
Speak for
White
yourself.
women are coddled by the white community, but they're mainly coddled by the whole society. And black men are coddled by the black community, while black women are expected to do more than black men and take
To do more what, bro? What are you talking about? We just got to talking about childhood. To do more what? Most black women, like these black women that you see here, like the black woman over here. What is this? This black woman sitting here. You think that if she had a black son, she would cuddle him? These black women who are so conscientious and they have so much to say about black men, do you think that if they have black sons, they're going to cuddle them with that mentality? But do you know how many black women have that mentality, bro? Especially in the West. Enough of them have that mentality. You think black women are perfect or something, bro? Enough of them have that mentality. Enough of them carry that before TikTok days too, the way that they treat their black sons. Many of them have beef with the baby father, so they take it out on the son. What are you talking about? That's a whole thing, bro. That's literally a whole strand, a whole strain of intra-black relationships. This idea that the black man or the black boy is responsible for what his father supposedly did, if he even at all did the things that he's accused of having done. Then we have a lot of rampant mental illness in the black community. Now it's addressed with black men because when black men start bugging out, they go jail, they go to prison for that. Black women, they don't go to prison. So they can be crazy as they like. Nobody's going to put hands on them. Nobody's going to arrest them. This skews the representation. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This is an actual conversation amongst black people in the black community. I don't know where you get off. I don't know what kind of music you make. Maybe you're a rapper or something. You got that strong New York accent. You probably grew up around a bunch of black folks over there. And so that's probably because you got that undertone, that undercurrent in your accent. I can hear that. Okay. So you probably think that you have an idea about what happens. You don't have no idea. You have no clue. And the way that you're speaking so willfully ignorant, it's clear as day that you don't know what you're talking about.
on more and be responsible for black men as well. Everything is the black woman's fault.
Everything is the black man's fault, right? Everybody's always blaming the absent fathers, even for stuff that they ain't even present to do. Everything is the black man's fault. What do you mean everything's the black woman's fault? You go and ask the black man, he will blame other black men. It's a known thing in the black community to cuss your father. It ain't a known thing to cuss your mother, bro. You talk to a black man about his mother and somebody's getting stabbed or shot about that. I don't feel like somebody's getting taken out of here about that. Somebody's getting beaten up about that. Don't come here and then say stuff that's nonsensical. It's always the black woman's fault. What? Because you read comments on the internet and then you took exception to comments that you didn't like because they were addressing females. You don't see what the black women are saying about black men. This is a gender war that has been taking place in the black community for centuries. And especially for decades, exacerbated no less by the likes of you. There's nothing new about you. There's nothing new about you, Chris K Music. Nothing. What you're doing has been done. You play this game, you're trying to play everybody else against each other. You go to the black community, you'll talk to them about the evil white man. You go to the white man and you'll sit there and pretend that you're so scared and you need protection from the black community. You'll sit there, it's you in the workplace undermining the black female colleagues. And at the same time, you're with the black females trying to tell them all about the wicked evil patriarchy and the wicked evil men. And the evil black man who really secretly doesn't respect them and says all of this stuff behind the back. Why is that black man so comfortable talking about black women in front of you? What did you say in retaliation to that? What did you say in return to that? And how is it that you carry yourself a certain way and that you still find yourself getting around black men? If black men are all of this and all of that, what you doing with them? See, you can make sense of that with a black woman. Yeah, she wants to protect the black family. She wants to have black children. You can make sense of that. What are you doing with black men? Huh? And everybody's playing victim. You challenge some materials in your oh my days. Look at that. Look at this. Comment section. You're pandering, baby. You're pandering. Apologies. You're not my baby. I don't know you. But you're pandering. Don't do that. You understand? Those days are over. Maybe some people fall for that still, but those days are coming to an end. Let's continue.
Black man never gets accountability, just like the white woman never has to take accountability.
Black men do have to take accountability. We take accountability. Accountability is not something that you choose to take. Accountability is given to you whether you want to take it or not. And the fact that you think that accountability is a choice, because you're obviously blind if you don't see that black men do get accountable, right? Tells me how privileged you are, the fact that you think it's a choice. Because now it's just a bold-faced lie. When people are good and ready, they'll sit there and talk about how black men crash out of school, how black men get locked up, how black men get put on papers. That's accountability. I don't know if you know that. That's accountability. How black men off other black men and deal with other black men, gang violence and all of this stuff, that's accountability. Nobody gets it like black men. Black men take more accountability than anybody because accountability means accountable. It means you pay. Accounts, money, exchange, transaction, accountability. You settle the accounts. Nobody pays like black men pay. So don't come here and run up your mouth talking crazy. You're a white woman. You're over there. You know nothing about this. And then you're there running up your mouth, saying things that are demonstrably false. They are untrue, patently false, blatantly false. And then you're sitting there repeating it with a smile on your face like you've done something because you're looking to go viral. What the hell is going on here? Listen, this video is nearly finished. Let me just continue with it.
White women didn't have to work. They always had a soft life, even though white women are still under the patriarchy.
No, you are the biggest beneficiaries of the patriarchy. Without the patriarchy, you would be clinging to a man for dear life, trying to hide from the lions, the tigers, and the bears. Oh my. You'd be trying to hide from all of them. But the patriarchy allowed you to basically be able to function independently. Function independently. You understand? And even with patriarchy, you're still struggling. Yeah? You're still walking up to men. You're still trying to tell them what they need to be giving you. But without the patriarchy, you'd be hanging on to a man for dear life, especially a woman like you. Right? Predators were a real thing back then. Animals were a real thing, and they don't give a damn about your feminism or your rights or nothing. They're hungry, they want to eat. Yeah, they're hungry and they want to eat. Catching food was a real thing. All right? You had to be able to catch food. You had to be able to fish. That means you have to go to the river. That means other animals that go there, they're there too. And then the predators come to pick them off, and they're going to pick you off too if you're over there trying to fish. I don't know if you're aware of that. Now, it's only because of patriarchy that you get to walk around free of any real danger, pretending to be independent and all of this other stuff. See the irony? It's like parents providing you with a job and a car and a house, and now because you still have to work at that job and pay electricity bills, even though you have the house and you didn't have to pay for it. It's easy work, right? But now you're saying F your parents because you don't need them to actually physically pick you up and take you home and house you anymore and feed you. What kind of disgusting individual would even think to act in that way? But when you complain about patriarchy and being oppressed, like you enjoy the highest standard of living around the world is being sucked dry. Everything's being kicked up to the West. And then the white woman has the basically first right of refusal over these resources. Diamonds. How many African kids get executed for those diamonds? And then you put them on your finger over in the West. And it's mostly black boys who get executed for that. The same black boys you're pretending are coddled as you sit there and slip on a diamond ring on your finger. Are you crazy? Such wickedness, bile, such contempt for truth, for righteousness, for the black man, to the point where now you're going to sit there and try to lie. Bait face, bare face, big like that in front of everybody. Knowing that we live in the era of the internet, of AI, of fact checking, instantaneous fact checking that could easily disrupt everything that you've said. What kind of crap is that?
These have been abused just like all of us, because again, women couldn't have a bank account until 1974. And
Oh, can they have a bank account before 1974? Yeah. No, we're talking about violence. We're talking about lynchings. We're talking about extermination. You didn't go through that. Somebody told you that you couldn't have a bank account. That's like a kid isn't able to have his own bank account, maybe, or manage his own bank account. So he was abused as a kid. You didn't have a social footprint. You said it yourself. You didn't have jobs like that. When you started to have jobs, yeah, you started to make money. These things were opened up to you. And now you have your own bank accounts. All right? So shut the hell up with that stuff. This is minor stuff. You didn't have your own bank account, so what? That means that you were being abused? No, you were being frustrated in your efforts. Just 10 years prior to that, they signed the end of segregation. So you couldn't have your own bank account, and blacks weren't able to go here or there or there. That's in America. In Africa, blacks weren't able to do anything. To the extent that they even tried to stand up to the white man, even in the 40s. They were mass executed when they dared to ask for their pay for having fought in World War II, as they were promised. You understand that? Whereas in America at that time, they were being lynched, often on the orders and accusations of white women. How many towns done burnt down over there? You talk about being coddled, but whenever you flexed your muscles as a white woman, usually the first person to fall because of it was a black man. As a man, nobody fears women. They fear the other man over there. So the white man, his directive entirely pointed at the black man. The black woman was an incidental thing. It was like collateral. If she's standing there, she can get it too. If she gets down, she can be cool. But the black man over there, if he so much as breathes in a way that displeases us, we're going to deal with the boy. We're going to deal with him. And that's what was happening. Where's the coddling in that? All the way to the 90s when black men began oppressing each other in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, but really it got to a head in the 80s. Holding each other accountable, unduly so. Blaming them for stuff that had nothing to do with them. A lot of black men, their anger stems from their mothers, stems from their household, stems from the upbringing, stems from the frustration and the powerlessness that they feel. Read a book by Dr. Amos Wilson called Black on Black, Self-Annihilation in Service of White Domination. This was a psychologist as well as a probation worker for Rikers Island back in the 70s, 80s, when New York was New York, when people used to fear that place. And he was dealing with black men in Rikers Island, right? As their probation officer and as a psychotherapist. And he wrote the book on this. The definitive work is Dr. Amos Wilson. And you want to sit there and then come and tell me about being coddled. You have no literature behind you. You are talking about something that you are academically ignorant of, and that you have no experience of. You are wholly unqualified to discuss the topic that you're discussing. But because social media is a hell of a drug and you're looking for the clout, you go on and you do that.
Marriage is indentured servitude for women. So white women still were getting.
No, marriage is not indentured servitude for women or whatever. Marriage is protection because without marriage, you're just left to your own devices in the middle of the wilderness. Your parents will die, and then nobody else is going to be there to look after you. Dummy. What the hell were you going to be able to do for money back when there were only 2 or 3 main jobs? Most of which, well, more than that, but most of the jobs of which actually required force and bravery. Marriage is subordination and indentured servitude for, no, it's not indentured servitude for women, right? If it's indentured servitude, then how come women cry and they get so excited and happy when the man poses and pops the question? How come women are the ones forcing men to get married and talking about men are boys who don't want to commit when men refuse to pop the question? You women got your freedom. You don't have to be sexually compliant to men. You don't have to marry men, get married. You can have your sexuality and sleep with a guy and then get up and go and leave and do something else without having to get married. Okay. But then that means that the guy can get up and go elsewhere too if he doesn't want to. No. The guy must be forced to marry the woman if the woman indeed decides that she wants to marry him. And then we make a whole big song and dance about how boys are not, men are boys basically because they don't want to get married. We make a big song and dance about that. But if marriage is indentured servitude, then what the hell are you talking about? Wouldn't you be happy that men weren't popping the question? Because we're dealing with low IQ, stupid, clout chasing nonsense over here and simping. Homoerotic simping on your behalf. Yeah, you got the little black scent thing going on there. It come like you're looking for fans over there. You're looking for acceptance amongst black women. I get it. That's your audience. But don't come here and lie and try to throw black men under the bus because you think it's fashionable to do so. Huh? What's wrong with these people? Indentured servitude. No, it's not indentured servitude. Marriage is marriage, bro. Right? For a God-fearing people, they were told, get married. Because otherwise you're having babies left and right. And then those babies are raised. We don't know who the father is. And therefore we don't know what clan he belongs to. And therefore nobody speaks for the baby. So the baby grows up without guidance and starts becoming a tearaway. And there is no channeling his masculine. And then he becomes a criminal or an outlaw. But if he is inducted into his fire, you see how that works? And like you are subversive, you don't like order because you take order for granted because you've never lived in chaos. So you can't appreciate order when you've never lived in chaos. If you've never had the rain, you can't appreciate the sun. If you've never scored, greatest city on earth, all of that, you have every amenity that you could ever think or desire to want. So that's why you think that the alternative to that is somehow romantic. It ain't. You understand what I'm talking about? Marriage was necessary in order to temper the lusts of man and woman. Now, did it go overboard at times? Yeah, it did. But don't come here pretending that marriage doesn't make sense. Like going around and then doing up muku muku mukuli with whoever and whenever, however, forever. Don't pretend that that is the way for things to be. That is not the preferred objective. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now, of course, people can do whatever they want. I'm not ready to do. But what I'm saying is indentured servitude. No, it's not indentured servitude. You're so desperate to be a victim. You talk about you both have a victim help me mentality, and then you're going to sit there and then say, yes, white women. But then you sit there and then present yourself as a victim. The same woman over there, you want to talk about victim help me mentality because black women are not known for having a victim mentality. Yeah. All of them have a victim mentality. Even white guys have a victim mentality. Everybody in the West has a victim mentality, bro. You want to escape victim mentality, probably take your ass over there to the third world where they just deal with things and they actually have problems for real. Nonsense, man. Look at this rubbish.
graped, and their fathers were still selling them and marrying them at 12, 13 years of age. They're still women and still get treated.
Yeah, and then children, boys were being forced up chimneys, and then they were being forced to clean them, and then they were contracting tuberculosis, and many of them were losing their teeth and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, yeah, that happened. That wasn't slavery, or that was just practices. The world was a tougher place back then. Everybody had it hard, right? The system was hard. With the Industrial Revolution, people were able to rely more on machines, and so break out of the necessity to keep human beings subdued. That's what happened. That's how you got your freedom, woman. Okay? And shut up about being coddled, because when that was happening, was going through it like the black man was going through it, who was being killed at the highest rates possible, who was being targeted, lynched, hanged, who was being shot dead over there in Africa when they wanted to make the push to go in after they had perfected the Industrial Revolution, and they wanted to go in to West Africa and other places like that so that they can be able to take the resources. What are you talking about? 80% of the slaves that were taken out of Africa were male. I mean, what are you talking about? Who was caught? Why are you comparing your silly, idiotic, little, nonsensical, I hate you, dad, gripe to what the black man actually went through? Are you stupid or something, bro? What you went through is like a child who's being restricted. That's not to say that the child is being abused. Now, you can say, well, the child is supposed to be an adult. The child can look after himself. True. And maybe that is abuse, right? If you allow a 5-year-old to be free, that's you abusing the child. But if you restrict a 25-year-old from being free, that's also you abusing the child. Everything is a question of gradients and degrees. But that being said, what you're talking about is restrictions. Sell the child off. What? Sell the child off? Are you trying to liken that? Are you trying to equate that to slavery or something? Sell the child off. You're being sold off to the neighbor or somebody down the road. But that's not selling off. That's just bride price and stuff like that. Boom, boom, boom. Marriage, go over there. What's the deal? Would you rather just sit there? How else are you going to be productive 200 years ago? What you going to do? Run a modeling agency in the 1600s, in the 1700s, in the 1800s? Don't be stupid, man. There were only few jobs going. Most of it was farming, agricultural work. You're going to go to the farm and work your whole life? Because there's no soft life. There's none of that crap. No, not unless you want to be part of the royalty over there. And even royalty, your thing was to breed, yo. To breed and to be a face. Yeah, that's what it was. Just like the men, they had to go to war, they had to do all of this stuff, be a face. And they also had to sire as many children as they could. Naturally, it's not man's fault that we don't have to give birth. What are you talking about? We have the seed of life in our scrotum. We give to the woman who carries it into her womb, and then she then brings that to fruition. That's just the deal, man. Monkeys have the same deal. Dogs, mammals in general have the same deal. There's nothing special about you, woman. Nothing is special about you. This little movie you've made for yourself in your head, nothing no special about you at all. You tell these people who are just legends in their own mind. Stop it.
As such. However, they still have been coddled.
I love the way you just snuck that in there. We've been so oppressed, but we've still been coddled. Have you been oppressed or have you been coddled? Shut up, man.
Where black women have been treated since the day they're born like they're supposed.
Were you there when they were born? Which one of you white women was there when a black woman was born? Maybe at the hospital. Maybe the midwife was white. How many of you have actually kept up with black women from the day that they were born? You're in the house, you know about them. Maybe if you're an auntie or something like that, but do you know about them? You're not in a position to talk about these things. You're talking about things that you know nothing of. You don't know who did what when they were born and how they were raised and whatever. You don't know. Since they were born, the baby's a baby. What's a baby being asked to do? No. Let's go literally. Let's talk about since the day they were born. On the day they were born, were they asked to go and take out the trash on the day they were born? Are you stupid or what? Like I said, black children have trauma. Go to any black school, you will hear a bunch of black kids. I don't know nowadays, but in my day, you would hear any number of black kids, especially the males, talking about they got their ass whooped. Talking about the ass whoopings they caught. Everybody knows what happens when you talk back to your black mother. You get disciplined. What the hell are you talking about? Who gets coddled, bro? In the black community, who gets coddled? This is something that is a lie that was invented by angry, overzealous black chicks on the internet. But a black woman in her heart, if you speak to her in the street, far, face to face like that, she knows that that's a lie. You come on the internet and just say anything. And you catch that because you like to read the comments and everything. You're a little busybody. Huh? You got a little thickness to you, so you think that you're somebody up in here. Yeah. You look decent, but don't sit there and put yourself in this business over here and think that you get a pass because what? You've been forwarded by black men, and now you're trying to go from black men and bounce off into the black female category so that you can sit there and try to take off your little career or whatever it is you're trying to do with yourself, man. Come on.
Supposed to protect, provide, work. The weight of the world has always been on black women's shoulders. White women and black men are both.
No, sorry. Protect. No, I'm a black man. I've never asked a black girl to protect me. What the hell are you talking about? It's the other way around. Growing up in the hood, when you're walking around, yeah, it's black men having fist fights and swinging on folks for messing with their sisters, for messing with their girlfriends, for messing with their cousins. A black girl sit there and go, I'm a black. Nobody ever said, I'm going to get my sister on you, man. I'm going to get my sister. Watch when my sister gets here. It's the women saying, I'm going to get my brother. I'm going to bring my brothers. I'm bringing my brothers. I'm bringing my cousin. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's always the women talking about they're going to bring men. Always. So who's protecting who? Providing what? What? You expect the black woman to provide and protect for their children, to protect their children, to provide for their children? Yeah. Who else are they providing for? Oh, you mean Pookie and Ray Ray because you think all black men are Pookie and Ray Ray? You see that? So you think every black man is being provided for by black women, even though statistically black men make more than black women. So all this money that supposedly black women are providing to black men who make more money than them, how is that making sense? Providing for your children, yeah, you're supposed to provide for your children. I don't understand. You want to medal for that? Acting like that needs to be mentioned, that they provide for their children, is like acting like they shouldn't actually have to provide for their children. So what you're basically saying is that the default position is that black women should have to do any of that for their Peking, for their children, for their Peking. Nah, I don't think so. They have to provide for their children. But who else are they asked to provide for? And to the extent that they're asked to give back to their parents, yeah, black boys, black men are also asked to give back to their parents. Yo, I'm a black man. I know how that goes. That whole situation is called black tax. Yeah, the idea that you're slaves to your parents and you got to do this and that and whatever. Even though I'm the son of immigrants who came here to get away from their parents, but want to sit there and get old and now be trying to tell us, this generation, what to do for them. But that's a whole conversation that you know nothing about because you ain't at the cookout and you ain't there at the dinner table. My thing. Listen, I mean, look, what's this girl saying over here, bro? Saving people from a sunken place, domestic violence and trafficking. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. We know what this is about, bro. Yeah, we know what this is about. We know what this is about. Listen, like, share, subscribe. Peace.